why don't you bring us in? You introduce everybody.
Oh, hello. I forgot how to do anything. It's been a really long time.
I forgot.
Hey, everybody. It's Flaming Toads and the beautiful, talented Cassiopeia Sarah. And welcome to another video during this chaos.
Yes, welcome to pandemics, riots. Oh my! Wait, there should be three things. It's only two things. Pandemics, riots, and I don't know. Y'all. I'm too tired.
What else is there? Those things are enough.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
already too much.
We're pretty bad. So, anyways, as I was just telling Toad, my wife and I were watching. There's a documentary series on Netflix. I think it's British, because I think it said British TV shows under it. It's called History 101. And in like 20 minutes, it'll explain like something in history. And it's by no means comprehensive. Like, they do like very flash of a lot of things. But one of them was about, oh shit, what was it about? Feminism? Yeah, feminism. And so, like, you know, I love the Bletchley Circle. I love Agent Carter. I know I've done a lot of research about women in World War II. So I know about code breakers and know about women who worked in bomb factories, that kind of thing. But what I learned in this TV show is that they had women lumberjacks and they called them lumberjills. And my wife, because she's amazing, is like, there's a fic right there. And so now I am convinced that Jean McBrien definitely 100% dated a lady lumberjack at some point.
Oh, yes.
And that I want an AU with Hecate as a lumberjill.
Hell, yes.
Yeah.
This is the best.
And you know what's the best? This picture of Ada that you had right here. Look at her little wing. Look at her.
Oh my god, thank y'all.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So
finish these like really badly.
You're gonna do it while we chat.
A storm is coming. Prepare yourselves, everybody.
Storm is coming. Yeah, so we don't have. I know that there was a question somewhere that I did have that was from last time, but I don't know where that is. So apologies, friends. But we've decided this time to just talk about whatever we want to, and you have to sit there and listen if you decided to go with us on this journey.
Yeah, you have to. No. Like, already, if you've already made it this far, you are obligated to finish it.
You are.
No matter what happens.
And we'll know. Anyway, hold on. I'm almost done with my cobbler here. Alright. I was about to do like Cass's 10 tips for surviving a plague and racism for a second. And then I was like, but I didn't prepare that. So why would I just say that and think I could come up with 10 randomly like really good things? But I think the idea came from the fact that I'm currently coping by baking.
That's fair.
I gotta tell y'all, I make a mean cobbler. It's really good. I also made some bread. Yesterday I had a whole day of baking. I got up in the morning and I was like, you know, there's all these riots going on. I made a Twitter thread that has now gotten some notes over on the Tumblr. So thank you to anyone who reblogged that or retweeted that. I really appreciate that. But like that was the one thing that I did. Like I made that post and then I was like, you know what? Like I'm a little bit tired, so I'm gonna take a break from everything and I'm just gonna bake some bread and some cobbler, and I did that. And with very delicious results, let me tell you. My wife and my kid are very happy about it.
I love that for you guys.
Yeah. I would send it out to all of you, but for one, my desserts have to be gluten-free, and those do not always have like a very long shelf life. And two, I can't have dairy, so that also doesn't contribute to a very long shelf life. So just imagine that you're eating the best apple cobbler you've ever had, and I made it. Also some really great bread.
Everyone say thank you to Cass for sharing their amazing cobbler.
You're all welcome. I'm glad I could provide. No. But I wanted to do this not only because I love to chat with Toad, but also because I feel like there's just there's a lot going on, and I would like to retreat to my happy place. And that's not always like, and this is what my Twitter thread was about. It's not, fandom isn't always a safe place for someone like me, but I really enjoy Toad, and I enjoy the lovely little like sandbox I've created. So I would like to play in that sandbox, and this is what y'all get. This is what y'all get when that happens. But so that's why I asked Toad to do an episode, and she, being the lovely person that she is, agreed.
I was like, heck yeah, I'm free these days.
She did. So yeah, that is the see. But now I'm blanking on like what to talk about. I'm like, I just wanted to talk with Toad. I don't know what to.
You know, that's the funny thing. It's like I could talk to you all day, but as soon as like it's time to record a video, it's like, what were we talking about?
Yeah, we're both like, wait, what? What's going on?
Or like last episode, we couldn't figure out what kind of AUs we wanted to be written, and then as soon as that was done, it's like I sent you like 8 different AUs.
Oh, that is true. Oh my god, that is so true.
I was so mad about it.
Yeah. I'm like in a funny place where I do want a ton of AUs, but then I start missing magic. And I don't know why it completely escapes me every time that you can just write a magical AU. Like you could still have magic in an AU.
That's true.
Yes, like, because your brain is just like, you know, obviously if it's an AU, there's no magic. And it's like, no.
I got hit with like the biggest desire to draw a Hackle Star Trek AU.
Oh my gosh. You know there's art of one.
Yeah, I know. And it hit me, and I was just like, I want it. So I went looking for it, and I was like, I need more of it.
Hold on, because I don't want to write a Hackle Star Trek AU, not because I don't think that is like a complete legit thing, or not because I don't want it, but because that would just require so much more brain power than I currently have. But I did write I wrote a thing once because my friend who like very briefly dipped into this fandom and then dipped out, which was completely legit, asked me during one of those mashups.
Oh, love the mashups.
Yeah, so hold on, because I do want to talk about what they do. Here it is. I do want to talk about what they do. So, obviously, in a Star Trek AU, Hecate Hardbroom is the chief science officer. Obviously. Okay.
Obviously.
And you know that she would not actually elect to be on a ship that has families, but if she's put on one, she's just going to do it because she is like, you know, she's not going to question her superiors. So, since she's a science officer, she's all about the away missions. Yeah, that's the right word. Sorry, in my head that came out like emissions or something, like it wasn't the right word. Anyway, she likes the away missions, and she wants to test vegetation on every new planet that they come to. And Ada is a communications officer. And I've decided that she used to be a captain. But unfortunately, she asked Agatha to be her first commander. and that went horribly. So yeah, so Ada did not get super fired from Starfleet, but the only reason she has a job really is because people like her too much. So they're like, it's cool, she can be on our ship as long as she's not the captain, and she's fine not being the captain, right? So that's that. And then Dimity is a pilot.
Oh, heck yes.
And then Julie is the doctor. The ship doctor. Because y'all remember when we thought Julie was a nurse? Like, I'm still so connected to that headcanon, and it really threw me off in season 4 where she, like, popped up on the screen and she's taking kids on a school trip, and I'm like, why is she not at the hospital? And I, for some reason, like, in my brain, even though I love all the Hubble Star in season 3, and I know that Julie taught there and she was supposed to be an art teacher, my head was just like, but she's a nurse, though. Why is she not at the hospital? So anyways, in that vein, she is the ship doctor.
I feel like everything they've done for Julie in the show was just like a last minute decision.
I know. It really feels like didn't nobody give Julie like real thought, other than the fact that like she's always sassy, always snarky, and always like, y'all really just didn't think anything through, did you? Like, you just have magic and it made you an idiot. I really think that's how she feels sometimes.
Oh, that's the best thing I've ever heard.
Well, it's true, right? She's always just like, but did you try this? Like this literal logical conclusion. Like, I've always thought that if Julie had been at Cackles earlier, and obviously like this wouldn't work because then Mildred wouldn't have been like unfrozen. They wouldn't have been able to do the thing. But if Julie had gotten there just a little bit earlier, and if she'd been stuck in the lab with like Hecate and Ada and Enid and Maud, when Hecate was trying the door, you know that Julie would have opened a fucking window and been like, why don't we just like jump out the window?
I'm just imagining like Hecate and Ada trying to have this really intense scene, and Julie's just like, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? And opens a window, like goes past them, and their like really intimate moment is just like, you guys are like pitiful.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, really? Like, is this the time though, ladies? Is this the time?
The answer is yes.
And you know, well, the other funny thing is like, if she didn't do it interrupting their intimate moment, because that was later.
Oh, that would have been so
if
funny.
she got to the window like before the lab started to freeze, and got like there, she probably would have opened the, got the girls out, and then Ada, before she jumps out the window, probably tells Julie what like an ingenious idea it is, and then when they're outside and like fine, Julie's gonna be like, Miss Cackle, I mean this with all the respect in the world. It's not ingenious. I literally just like used my brain. I need to know, does magic cut off your common sense? Because I'm very worried about my daughter and her ability to problem solve. If it does that to you, if that is a side effect, I need. Oh,
that's a good fic. Like every time Julie saves the day.
Yes, please, someone write that. Write as many of those as possible. I want them all. So yeah, I think that's as far as I got though. I don't think I gave anybody else a new job because this whole thing was about, what was my little thing about? Ada and Hecate go on an away mission together, but Hecate doesn't talk very much, and Ada thinks that she hates her a little bit.
That's so cute.
Even though she like respects that she doesn't want to talk, and then Ada comes out of the holodeck when Hecate is about to go in, and she accidentally like collides into her, and then she like apologizes, and then they kind of ask each other out on a date. I think my favorite thing about it though was the idea of Ada in a Velocity uniform. Because do you know what one of those is?
I don't think so.
Okay, hold on. Let me show you a picture, and then
top of my head.
So I'll show you a picture, and then when you edit the video, you can throw in.
Heck yeah.
All right. Okay. So I have to ask you now, though. Would you prefer 7 of 9 in a Velocity uniform or Janeway?
Both.
Well, okay, hold on. 7 of 9 Velocity. I think they played a game of Velocity together, so that shouldn't be too hard. All right. Their uniforms do look slightly different. Yeah, because poor 7 of 9 got like in all these like stupid ass, like really form-fitting stuff. Picard was very cathartic to watch, everyone, because I got to see my 7 in like real people clothes. As opposed to that bullshit that they put her in Voyager. Although, you know, it's definitely one of those, what's her face? One of those Jane Litch situations where I'm like, as a feminist, as a womanist, I'm offended, but as a lesbian.
Yeah.
Hello. Oh, here's a picture of both of them. It's funny. 7's face looks really funny in it, though. Hold on. All right. Where's my Discord? There we go.
I'm so excited.
Send.
Wait, that's the wrong way.
So there you go.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. I was picturing Ada more in the Janeway one. Although I think it would be a different color. I think it would be like the blue color. Did the communications officers wear blue? See, I feel like Lynn and Walk the Go are going to listen to this and be upset by my inability to recall Star Trek facts. They won't, because they would never judge me. But I'm trying to pull it out. But yeah, I wrote this thing. Hold on, let me send you this thing, Toad, so you can read it later and weep. I
love weeping.
I know you do. There we go. All right. Okay. So listen, okay, and not We're Switch News. I know that everyone has started to watch The Last Airbender again because now it's on Netflix. And I gotta tell you, Toad, I try every time, and I don't know if I can. I try. I really want to, like, you know, but although a lot of people have been like, it's nostalgia for me, really. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just want to be a part of the cool crowd. I also need you know what I mean? Like, that hasn't been either. I got so much to do, y'all, but the world is on fire and it's hard. All I've been watching is The Great British Baking Show, and that's the only clue I'm going to give any of you about my AU, is that I'd be watching that.
I'd be watching that sometimes.
I'd be watching it a lot. My new AU is going to be light and fluffy like a Genoese sponge.
I love it.
I felt as ridiculous making that reference as it probably sounded coming out of my mouth.
There's no going back. I'm leaving it in the video.
Never any going back. You are leaving it in the video because let me tell y'all, Toad will be like, I'll edit that out later. She leaves everything in. There's like nothing that's been edited.
Actually, the sad thing is there's a lot edited out.
That is true. No, I won't.
I think the last video, I edited out an hour, and it didn't feel like it at all.
Holy.
Like, what is happening?
Oh, you poor thing.
It just doesn't make sense.
You do edit. I don't want to take away the fact that you do a lot of really hard work on these.
Except lately. Lately, I've been like a little less like, it's the end of the world. So
I mean, like, no one's gonna blame you. No one's gonna blame. We're just trying to bring a little light into people's lives in this mass darkness.
Yeah, and that includes no editing.
Get
that out of here.
Listen, I keep writing fics in the middle of the night, so there's that. I haven't done it in a minute, but like, I think all my fics in April and May were written like in the middle of the night. Except for one I finished that was half written like 2 years ago. And was inspired by a scene from Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman.
Heck yeah.
Because this is what I do, folks. Little known secret. And by secret, I mean not a secret at all, because if you'd ever asked me, I'd tell you. I just tend to steal from my other favorite shows. Like, if something happened in one of my favorite shows, I just steal it. Also, a lot of shows use the same trope, so it's not really that hard to, like, take from other things. But, like, when I was in my Agent Carter fandom, there's this 80s detective show. Oh, my God, Toad, that you would love, by the way. This is 80s detective show called Scarecrow and Mrs. King. And it's called that because Scarecrow is the code name of the secret agent, and Mrs. King is this woman who he sees on a train one day and gives her this package to give to a man in the red hat. Unfortunately, there's like a convention with all these men in red hats when she gets on the train. So she doesn't really know who to give the package to. And then it's just like this series of like misadventures where she ends up working with him, even though he like denies that he needs a partner ever, but then they end up being partners and obviously they end up falling in love. But when I was in the Agent Carter fandom, I used like my love of that detective show to write like an epic. Angie was in witness protection program and Peggy was the agent assigned to her case, and they were faking a relationship to keep safe. You know what's funny is it literally, like, the first chapter came to me in the middle of the night, and I wrote the whole thing in 6 weeks. And yeah, to this day, I'm floored by the fact that I wrote it in such a short amount of time, especially the fact that it takes me so much longer to write things now. They're better. I will say that, like, the quality is better, but still. I'm like, I wrote that whole thing in 6 weeks, which is great. Which, I guess I also wrote Let Loose Your Longing in 2.5 months. But I also had like 2 months of research. So it still felt really long. So that's how much I research, folks. I research a lot. Oh, she's so cute. Look at her. I just want to kiss her face. But not because Hecate has to kiss her face. You know.
I've done nothing. You've been like doing all these things. I've watched anime. I regret to say.
That is something.
I'm falling back into my anime phase. I hate it. I'm like, don't.
I hate it. Why do I hate it? Tell me why you hate it. Oh my God, you should draw Hecate and Ada as like anime characters.
That's what I want to do. Oh, jeez. But everything's happening like this month, and I was just like, oh man, I really did it this time.
Oh no.
Because, like, I want to participate in the Hackle challenge. And then Ovatine, which is Obi-Wan and Satine from Star Wars, they're having, like, Ovatine week this month. And I'm like, what the heck? This is not fair. I'll make it through somehow. Or I'll be late. Either way, it'll be art.
Listen, no one's ever mad at you for being late. You know that, right?
I am. I'm the only one who's mad.
I know you're mad.
I'm like angry all the time.
There is a lot going on.
Too much.
I have part of me, like, also, obviously, like, you pick the dates for things before, like, life happens. So part of me, when, like, everything was going on this weekend, was like, oh, should I still do the trope challenge, though? Because I knew no one would, like, judge me if I didn't, like, roll it out.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was just like, but I don't know. Fandom, when it's working and when it's my own little corner of, makes me happy. So I was like, I'll just roll it out. We'll see. And I won't judge anybody if they don't have time to participate, obviously. And there are 2 full weeks at the end of the summer to catch up.
That's true.
If anyone wants to catch up.
And you can always pull a me, which is do it a year later.
You could indeed, and then just roll them all out together.
And make everyone cry.
And then you have Mim over here, who writes. Mim, listen, and who probably will listen to this, so listen up. I just said listen like 5 times. I'm always impressed with Mim doing a whole arc around the Summer Trope Challenge every year. And including all of the tropes in like a bigger, wider story. And I think before I came up with the AU I'm currently writing, I was thinking about pulling a Mim. This was also before I offered for Lynn to help out with the challenge. But I was like, ooh, maybe I'll pull a Mim and do like all the tropes in a larger arc. And then I was like, you know what? Maybe not. And now that I've picked all the tropes, I will say that once again, just like last year and the year before, I'm so interested to see how she puts them all into one long arc, because some of them will work really well with what I know she has planned, and some of them are definitely going to require a lot of creativity.
Pushing the limits this time.
I also tried really hard to pick some classics and some that I just like really, really love. So we'll see. And I took feedback, and so like this first week 1, which is the last day of school or the last day of term, however you want to phrase it, came from yet another rambling fangirl. So, which also happened to coincide with, I think, her first week of official week of summer vacation. She's a lovely teacher, which you would know from her blog. It's not like privileged information that I took out there, but I was like, this is perfect. So anyway, I took it from her, and that's why it's our first trope. Week 2 is a classic. Week 3 is great. Week 4, I love them all. I picked them, but I love them all. There's some suggestions from other people in there too, because I did do a poll to ask for ideas. Just polled my friends, because Tumblr polls are great, but sometimes those take like a lot. So yeah. Also, I would like to go on record, and I feel like Toad will be with me on this. I understand that, fandom is comprised of many different people with many different opinions, but I just want to put it out there that Ada is beautiful and wonderful, and Hecate never thinks of her as old and decrepit, and I don't think that Ada thinks of herself that way. And I'm just saying, some people apparently are stuck on that, and I don't think they should be. And that's that on that.
I agree. 1,000%.
Not calling out any names, but if you're listening to this and you're like, is she talking about me? The fact that you had to ask yourself that question, I think is very telling.
Ooh. Oh, snap.
Y'all, the world is on fucking fire, and I'm about to get real salty.
That's fair. I feel, after everything that's been going on, I feel like now is the time. Just say what you feel.
I want to say it just so that it's clear and no one is confused about where I stand on things. Because here's the thing, I feel like sometimes because the way in which a lot of us have learned to tell stories is that we've been fed certain kinds of stories and certain kinds of narratives. And are your dogs okay?
Yeah, it's a trash day today.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
dogs are not. So anyway, sorry, I got lost. Because I started thinking about your dogs and how cute they are. So Anyway, I just had side note. I do not own cats, and I appreciate everyone I ever ask to look at any of my stuff who does own cats, because sometimes I put things that dogs love for you to do for them in my stories about cats. And all my cat owner friends are always very like, "Hey, a cat wouldn't tolerate this," and I'm like, "I love that none of you tell me like, Cass, you're an idiot who only has dogs, and like this is not a cat thing." Well, very gentle with me, and I really appreciate it. But anyways, so a lot of us learn to tell stories in a certain vacuum and in a certain narrative, and it, we internalize a lot of tropes, and we internalize a lot of things that are rooted in misogyny, they're rooted in ageism, they're rooted in just like literally not reality. And while it is like obviously a societal ideal that like for a woman, like, you're hot until you're 30, and then after that, your life is completely downhill. Um, that's like not fucking true. And I just think like if we are all going to sit down, no matter our ages, if we're all going to sit down and write about women who are in their 60s or their 50s or even their 40s, like, I don't know, maybe it's just that some people haven't met women who are these ages. But they don't tend to overall think of themselves in the way some people be writing them, thinking about themselves. And so it's just like, for me, if we're going to choose to tell a story, and if we're going to choose to tell a story about two people falling in love or like two people working out a problem, like, we don't need to give them hang-ups that like, unless you're writing from a place where like that is the subject of the story, which is fine. But I don't know. For me, sometimes I'll read things and it's like people think there's some big mystery as to how Hecate could be attracted to Ada. And I don't think that that's mysterious at all. She, like, Ada is smart. Hecate likes intelligence. Like, I think that Hecate is attracted to Ada. And here's the thing. We're all taught that, like, because Ada looks like everyone's favorite grandma. Like, it's true. I'm not even going to deny that. But, like, to me, because she's not my grandma, like, I find her cardigans to have a completely different connotation. You know what I mean? I'm saying. Toad, you know what I'm saying, right? You know where this comes from. Okay.
I'm just afraid you made me giggle.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, you gotta keep those giggles in. Your giggles are so cute. I'm just saying, the thing is like you can be hot in your 50s, you can be hot in your 60s, and it doesn't look the same way. Like, you don't have to judge women at different ages by the same standards. And you need to expand what you find attractive. I'm just saying.
Please.
I think you need to do that. Like, just because you've not been told stories about people who maybe are as old as they are, who maybe look like Ada or whatever, doesn't mean that like these stories don't exist, that they don't matter, and that like you can't find the attractiveness in them. It's different than the same recycled stories over and over again. And I'm just mad, y'all. I'm mad because I'm not like, I don't know. It just sometimes I'm like, why is it such a big mystery, right? Like, I thought we were all invested in this for the same reason. Like, I don't understand. Why is it a mystery? And sometimes, the thing is our writing gets better. I'm not saying I'm any like paragon of like virtue or any sort of standard, like, because I'll be honest with y'all, some of my fics I know are not the best they could be. But like at our base levels, let's all agree on some universal facts. Hecate is head over heels for Ada, mentally, physically, emotionally, all the.
Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry.
Someone's planning an attack.
Okay, it's Wednesday. Oh yeah. Okay, never mind. It's trash day. The tornado siren test is going on.
Oh, ours is on Wednesdays too. Can I tell you? Okay, so this is my favorite like tidbit going off from my rant. We'll come back. We'll circle back around.
We're coming back. I have things to say.
Yeah, because I'm like, I know you have something to say, Toad. But circling around to the fact, so Toad and I do not live in exactly the same area, but we also, where I live in the Midwest, have, which I don't even know if where Toad lives is technically the Midwest. But anyway, but I live in the Midwest, and where I live, they have tornado sirens every Wednesday. And when we moved here, we were like, what the fuck is that? The first Wednesday it happened. Because we're like, what's going on? Because they sound really serious when you're not used to them.
Yes.
And we're like, what's going on? And then we learned from the people who live here. They're like, oh, those are the tornado sirens. Like, they go off every Wednesday. I'm like, I came from a place where there were tornadoes and we had tornado drills, but we didn't throw off a siren every week. Like, what? Also, the schools get out early on Wednesday and, like, no one can explain to me why that is. Because everybody is just like, no, like, one year something happened and they decided that they got off early on Wednesdays and we continue it. I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Granted, I'm asking that when at the same time we have, like, a 10 or 9 month school schedule, and it's from when people used to work on farms all the time, although there is a lot of farmland where I live, but where I came from was more of a suburban city, like wasn't nobody going out on the farm for the harvest, you know what I mean? So
welcome to Harvest Country.
This is the cutest picture, Toad. I can't get over it. She looks so adorable.
Thank you. I tried really hard.
Her face is really, like, really good.
Thank you.
I mean, it's always really good, but, like, her face especially. I'm so in love with her face in this picture. Like, I want to kiss her.
I went more, less cartoony.
Realistic, yeah, I can see that. I love them both a lot. I love any style that you try, really, let's be honest.
Good, because I've never liked just one style.
Listen, I'm here for all of them. I'm here for all your artwork, Toad. You know that. But anyways, let's circle back around to my rant, and you tell the people how you feel. So
circle back. It gets to me more specifically when there's a lot of people that are like, I love middle-aged actresses, but then they cut that off at a certain age, and that's what really gets under my skin.
Yes, or they cut that off at a certain body type, at a certain race, at a certain... Like, no, you don't love middle-aged actresses, though. You really don't. Because, first of all, you don't even know what the definition of middle age is. Because some people talk about middle-aged actresses, and I'm like, she's my age, and I'm young, y'all,
30.
okay? I'm in my early 30s. I'm not that old. I'm pretty
not middle-aged, folks.
I'm not middle-aged. I do have some gray hairs, but also premature gray runs in my family. So I've had gray hair since I was like 11. But like, I feel you on that. It gets me really, really angry. Because my other thing is too, when people are like, I love middle-aged actresses and they love all the roles they play, but then the fic they write or the stories they engage in are not the stories of what middle-aged women go through. And I'm like, but do you love them, though? Because you keep talking about how much you want them to step on you and how much you want to kiss them and all these other things. And I'm like, but if you met one and you dated her, I don't feel like you could treat her right. And I got some feelings about that.
It's true. It's very true. But yeah, I don't know. I just get tired of it. I'm tired of people being like, yes, I love middle-aged actresses. And then it's like the same middle-aged actress.
Yes, it's always the same group of women.
Or
and
it's
I'm
the
just
same
like,
type. And I'm just like, why? Why are you like this?
Truly. I swear to God, if I see one more list that is literally like the same, like 7 or 8 middle-aged white ladies, I will scream.
I can't do it.
Because I just can't.
I went on that tag yesterday. It was awful.
You what?
I went on that tag yesterday. I went like on a crazy reblog spree.
I saw that.
But yeah, it was like in the middle-aged actresses, and there were so many just skinny white women, and I was just like, I'm not here for it. I'm so mad at everybody.
Well, here's my thing. Like, part of me, even though I know, like, this is the part of me that is way too kind to other people, but part of me is just like, do you just not know that, like, Taraji P. Henson exists? Or, like, Octavia Spencer? Or Queen Latifah? Or, like, did you just not, were you just not exposed to some of the more attractive ladies? That really, really hot lady from The Expanse, whose name I can like see some of it spelled.
I don't know her name, but every time I see a post, it's just like, I have to watch that, if only for her.
Oh my gosh, she's amazing. She is amazing. But she's really hot. And I'm just like, how come she's not on your lists?
Why? Why not?
Free.
I lost it last night. All I seen was Helena Bonham Carter. It's just like, why is there like 7 pages of just her for like middle-aged female actresses? I don't understand.
Well, and here's my other thing too. I feel like if Helena knew, right, she'd be pissed too.
Yeah, she'd be like, what the fuck is wrong with everybody?
Like, why am I on all of it and like no one else?
No one else is even on the list right now. We need to change it.
Because I'm just like, y'all there's no excuse. There's no excuse. It's also kind of like, I watched Birds of Prey recently.
Oh my god. Y'all so rude. Harley, come here, babe. It's okay. Hide. Hide from the noises.
I watched Birds of Prey recently because Tumblr kept telling me how gay it was. And, like, it was a little less gay than I thought it was. But everyone had been going on about Helena Bertinelli, who is great. Don't get me wrong. She's great. I ship her with Dina. But I was like, but where's all the posts about Rosie Perez, who I've been in love with since I was like 7 and saw... There's a movie called, hold on, let me not get it wrong. There's a movie, it's got Nicolas Cage and Rosie Perez and, who was the woman in that movie? Hold on. I think it was called It Could Happen to You. Yeah, that's what it was called. Okay, so there was this movie called It Could Happen to You. And it was about this waitress.
Oh my god. Please stop.
This waitress played by Bridget Fonda, that's who it was. And this cop. And so Nicolas Cage played the cop. And Bridget Fonda played Yvonne the waitress. And Rosie Perez played Muriel, which was Charlie's wife. So anyways, Nicolas Cage and Bridget Fonda's character, he didn't have enough for a tip, because they'd like come in to eat. Him and his friend had come in to eat, and they didn't have enough for a tip. And so he promises Yvonne, the waitress, that look at the little placard, that if he wins the lottery, he will split the winnings with her. And she doesn't believe him, obviously, but he's like, this whole movie touts him as like this really good guy who's very moralistic, and now I'm realizing the police propaganda in this movie. But anyways, my whole point in bringing it up is that Rosie Perez played his wife, and she was supposed to be this sort of like nagging, like didn't appreciate her husband enough, and like obviously this becomes a love story about him and the waitress. But I was always, as a kid, I always thought Rosie Perez's character was really interesting, and I always loved hearing her talk and hearing her. I probably have never loved hearing someone's voice complain about a man more than I do Rosie Perez's. And so I fell in love with her in that movie, even though I knew I was supposed to hate her. It came out in like 1994, so I've been in love with Rosie Perez since I was like 7. But I loved her, and I watched her in like a ton of other things, and she's just, She's one of my favorite people. And so she's in that movie. She plays Renee Montoya, and like I've just been so, because I've been reading fic, as one does after you watch a movie and you're like, I want to be in love. And everyone treats Renee, and like granted, she is definitely an alcoholic, but like a lot of the fic just does not treat her with the respect that I would hope, because I think like Rosie Perez for me has been a crush for so long that I'm like, I can't believe I just saw her in a superhero movie, and that's really great. The same way that Journey Smollett Bell, who might just be Journey Smollett again, because I think she and her husband are getting divorced, who plays Black Canary. I have been in love with her since I was a young kid too, and we're only like a couple months apart. I think we're like the same age. And so I saw these people, and I would see these posts and these gift sets that were mostly Helena, and obviously a lot of Harley Quinn, but I expect that. The movie was like mostly centered around her with some other people. So I'm not mad about that. It was her movie, in my opinion. But there's not enough Rosie Perez on my dash, and I'm just like, do y'all not know about Rosie Perez? Like, do you need to go back and watch It Could Happen to You? Because she was adorable in that movie. Even though she was supposed to be a heinous bitch, I loved her. Which is funny because that's not normally a thing that I love about women, but when you're a woman of color, I will love you no matter what role you're playing. Let's be real. But she's really hot. So she also plays she played a lesbian in Birds of Prey. She plays a lesbian in some movie I haven't watched yet that has Anne Hathaway in it that I need to watch. And I'm just like, somebody had a tweet or a post that was like, I would like to thank whoever is casting Rosie Perez as like a middle-aged lesbian, just like in the past 4 or 5 projects that she's done. I'm like, for me, this is basically a dream come true. And that was my rant about something that I can't even remember how I got on that topic. Oh, we were talking about middle-aged actresses. Once again, get in it, y'all. Love Rosie Perez is what I'm saying.
It kind of reminds me of like how like nobody remembers like previous work of like I know I mentioned this before, but I still can't get over it. Oh my gosh, I forgot her name. This isn't good.
What's she in?
Oh my god, she's a rapper. My
Queen
mind
Latifah?
went blank. What'd you say?
Queen Latifah?
Not Queen Latifah, but she is one. Don't even get me started. Crap.
Listen, any of you, okay, here's the thing. I know that, like, for the most part, heterosexual romances are boring for all of us. But I want y'all to love yourselves and watch this string of rom-coms that Queen Latifah was in from, like, the early 2000s.
They're so good.
Because they're all so fucking good, and they're so charming, and they're just, like, you know, there was a post on Twitter that then was put on Tumblr that was like, I would just like to thank whoever cast her in these rom-coms where, like, her weight was never a thing about, like, her being unattractive. And I find this an interesting point because, A, agreed, but B, like, I know that, like, black movies and black cinema sometimes have been very separate from, like, major Hollywood, like, studios. But this idea that, like, because I've seen a lot of people be like, I want a movie about, like, that's really about, like, you know, friendship between women and it's strong and, like, the men in their lives are sort of, like, periphery and all this other stuff. Or I want a TV show that has the same thing. And I'm like, y'all, that's, like, the majority of black movies. Like, there's so much, like, when women are friends in black movies, like, they tend to be like, there's not a whole lot of, like, ridiculous competition. There's not a whole lot of fighting over a man. There's not... The only time that...
They're actually friends.
Huh?
They're actually friends.
Exactly. And while we're on the topic of friends, because I'm going to make this point again, even though I made it in a different video, the concept of the show Friends came from Living Single, which also had Queen Latifah in it. And was a much better show, and everyone was truly fucking friends, and there were only 2 couples to come out of it, and it was 4 women to 2 dudes, which was the much better ratio. And fuck you, Friends. for stealing Living Single, and now that's the one everyone talks about, and that's what's in popular culture, and whatever. And don't worry, anyone, I won't judge you if you like Friends. I will just think a little less of you. I'm just kidding. But anyways, okay, see, Toad, now you let me go off on a rant, and
I'll only judge you if you're a Friends stan.
Just don't tell me. I mean, I think that's the safest bet to go. Just don't tell me. Unless you're willing to sit down and watch Living Single and then agree with me that it is the superior show, because it is. Because y'all, okay, listen.
Is it on Hulu, by the way? I think it's on
Living
Hulu.
Single?
Let me.
Might.
Hold on, I'm gonna check. Because if it is, go to Hulu, check it out.
Y'all, I love when Toad be checking shit, because she always be incognito on her web browsers.
I'm always a secret. No one
but every time I see it, you know what's so funny about incognitos? Every time I see it, I feel like people trying to be slick, and like everyone thinks they're secretly a CIA agent.
Me.
Even though I know that for you forget not to put it on, but then you be searching for really hilarious stuff, not incognito. It is on there.
It's on Hulu.
Listen, if y'all have Hulu, you have no excuse. Your asses need to be watching Living Single. Go do it for the culture, y'all.
5
Love it.
Seasons. What are you doing? Watching Friends on Blue.
5 seasons. Y'all need to watch all 5 seasons. And let me tell you, if you aren't still convinced, let me tell you the premise of the show, everybody. Oh. We're going to go through everybody. Queen Latifah plays Khadijah James. Khadijah runs her own magazine, Black-owned magazine called Flavor, which is the greatest name for a magazine, let's be fucking real. She lives with her childhood best friend, Regine, who one of her signature phrases is she doesn't wear outfits, she creates looks. She's wonderful. She's always trying to marry a rich man.
Rude.
See, and the dogs is trying to tell you to watch it too. And then you have Khadijah's really precious cousin, whose name I just forgot. That is a tragedy because she was one of my favorite characters. Oh, what's her name? Sinclair. And Sinclair, when she comes to live with them, so Regine and Sinclair and Khadijah all live together. But when Sinclair comes to live with them, she rolls up in this Jeep with a giant ass troll in the back. Like we're talking, like the Trolls, y'all. Before like the Trolls became this new animation thing, like the old school ones with the really hilarious hair that you could pick them up by. But she's got a gigantic troll, and like trolls are her thing, and she's still like the sweetest, softest person. You will love her. I promise. All y'all will love her. Nobody loves Sinclair. And then their friend Maxine, that Khadijah went to college with, lives in the building across the street, y'all, but she's always in their apartment. So I used to forget in that show that Maxine didn't live with them because she was like never in her apartment until later seasons. She just never was there. And then there's Overton, who is the apartment building handyman, and there's lovely little romance from the beginning between Overton and Sinclair, which is really cute to watch. And then you got Kyle, which is Overton's roommate. And Kyle, a lot of people hate Kyle, and Kyle is a little bit of a fuckboy, but he's got like some really great moments in his friendship with Regine and his friendship with some of the other women. But that was the thing I always loved about Living Single, is that even though you had the romance between like Sinclair and Overton, and something happens between Kyle and one of them later, well for you. Even though you had those things, it didn't detract from the fact that this was a group of 6 friends at the end of the day. Like it really just was. And the men are such that like they're part of the storyline, but they never take over. And it is very much a show about women, really, even though the dudes are in it. Daisy, I'm very concerned. Can you hear my dog?
Yeah, I was gonna ask what that was.
Are you okay? Honey, you know you can get up from the couch. She keeps doing this at night too, like in her crate, and I'm like, I don't know if there's something wrong with her or if it's just hot, and she keeps not like, lying on the floor where it's cold. So she'll just like pant on the couch or pant on the bed, and you're like, bitch, if you got on the floor, it would be so much cooler. But she ain't gonna listen to me. She just does what she does. All right, after my rant about living single, I feel like at this point, some of you are like, listen, Toad and Cass, I really just tuned in for the worst switch. And I think you should know by now that that's not always where these conversations lead. And I think you should love us for who we are. Because we did say at the beginning of this, we had no plan.
No plan at all.
We're just talking. But I will circle back around.
Oh my god. Harley, come here.
As Toad's
dog.
Shush.
Shush. Stop. Calm down.
My favorite is when you tell a dog to shush and they're still like their growl just gets kind of lower.
That's always Harley. Harley's just like, me.
Daisy's like that too. It's like, stop barking. She's like, like,
I'll stop, but I'll complain about it.
Exactly. Do you need me to turn the air conditioner up, sweetie? Your panting is really concerning to me. What was I gonna do? Anyway, I'm looking at this very pretty picture of Ada, to which you do know, Toad, that you're gonna have to post this because I've chatted about it.
Oh, that's true.
And you can't just let the people not see it. How many of these palettes do you have left to do?
Well, I want to post them in, like, what do I want to say? In, like, categories. So I want to finish this one. Where is it? Oh, it's not up. This one is Divity, so I can put all of them together.
But then is that the last one that you have to finish?
Yeah, for, like, these trio. I still have a few more to go.
That's fine. Well, listen, you finish this, we'll finish Dimity, and then you got one is done, right?
Sure.
There we go.
I'm so happy.
You can finish 2, and then you post 2, and everyone's going to be like, what? Obviously, Toad and Cass did a video because Toad is posting art.
It's true.
Although she did surprise me that one time, y'all, when she just photobombed me of all these things, and I will have my revenge.
That's my favorite thing to do, is just photobomb everybody.
I know, but you're going to cry a river of tears when I have my revenge.
Well, I'll just plan another revenge.
I know. It's just going to be an endless war. To which, hopefully, all of the people who enjoy us are just going to laugh and have fun.
Everyone just has fun.
I just hope everyone
That's
has
what fandom's supposed to be about, by the way.
It is
having fun.
It is. It's not only everyone having fun, but let's make it safe for everyone to have fun.
Yes.
Y'all.
And if you don't, blocked and reported.
Exactly.
I don't have time for this.
Listen, y'all, Toad got something new recently I think she should talk about.
Wait, what?
It's hackle related. You get your new purchase. Do you remember how you were like, I bought something, and you know how sometimes you're like, why did I buy that? And then I got it, and I was like, why did I not have this in my life? So I think you should tell the people what you bought.
I bought a hackle pillow.
She's got a hackle pillow, y'all.
It's so cute. I can't wait to buy another one. It has to be from Salt. It has to be.
Yes.
This one that I have is from Salt, so it only makes sense that if I have another pillow, that is also a design from Salt. So, be expecting me to buy another pillow.
I love it so much. I also, speaking of Salt, I've been using my Hackle notebook to make notes for my AU. And also to plan out the weeks for the trope challenge, which is really great.
Oh, I also bought the sticker of Hecate with pride flag. So cute. I don't know where to put them, but I have them.
I love stickers. I have 2 sets. Y'all, can I tell you, this is really funny. All right, so my wife gets the mail, okay? And for my birthday, which was 2 months ago, or 2 or 3 months ago, but it feels like it was a freaking lifetime ago. Because it was right before everything went into lockdown.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, for my birthday, I bought a notebook that had Salt's art on it, and I bought Toad's stickers. And so I kept asking my wife every day when she got the mail if the stickers came, because the notebook had come. And she kept insisting that they weren't there. And so I contacted Redbubble. They were really great. They were like, yeah, your order should have come, and we'll just send you a new one. And they sent me, because I told them that I'd only not gotten the stickers, but they sent me the whole order again. So then I had 2 notebooks, which was great. And then the stickers showed up, and I was really happy. And then my wife cleaned out her car, and she goes, so you did get the stickers the first time, and I just didn't see them because at some point I put them in my car. And I was just like, oh man, I feel like I've cheated Redbubble out of like getting twice the order. But in my defense, my wife is not being truthful with me, obviously. So
I mean, to be fair, I'm not like, I hope to get away from Redbubble at some point, because like a lot of the money goes to Redbubble instead of the artist.
That sucks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good for like someone who like doesn't have like a sticker maker or can make that stuff or whatever. So like, I wouldn't feel too bad about taking money from Redbubble.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Good.
And like now I have 2 Hackle notebooks and like 2 sets of your stickers, which means that I'm not as stressed as to where to put your stickers as I would normally be. Because the sad part is, when I bought your stickers last year, I put them all in my planner. Well, I have to get a new planner every year. And then I was out of stickers. So that's why for my birthday, I was like, I have to get more of Toad's stickers But now my wife, y'all, who I've let into fandom, and which was hilarious that I did that, is like, can you commission your friend Toad or your friend Salt to do like my wife wants to fill like a wall of our bedroom, just like, I think, in Hackle fan art. I think she just really, that's what she wants to do, which I'm not against. Like, let's do it. But she said, can you commission your friends, as if I could just ask you to come up with some sort of masterpiece, and then it would happen in like a week, and then we could just order it,
Yeah.
I was like, babe, that's not how art works, okay? Like,
it's not.
I was like, but when have you ever like seen me, like asked me for a fic and then it just happened in a day, honey? Like, that just isn't gonna happen. She's like, but you could still ask them. I'm like, I will ask them for whatever you give me a specific thing to ask for. And she's like, I don't know what to ask for. I just want it to fill the wall.
I have a few masterpieces in the works.
I know you do. And this is what I told her. I was like,
oh my God. Carly.
Listen.
You're going to make several appearances on this video.
She is.
I'm going to just post a whole bunch of pictures of her.
Please do.
You're like, this is all her fault. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Please do.
She's very skittish about noise.
Yeah. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, getting Hackle orders.
Masterpieces.
I am hoping, y'all, my current AU is kind of intimidating me because it's got 12 chapters. And it has to have 12 chapters just by the structure of like what it is, that I don't want to give too much away about what it is. But I'm also like, oh man, and I'm trying, and all of you know I'm going to fail miserably if you've read anything I've written, but I am trying to keep the chapters to traditional chapter length, which is about 3,000 to 5,000 words. 7,000 if you want to get crazy. But y'all, I haven't written a chapter that was like under 5K since Woo Me, and that's only the first chapter. But I'm like, even if by some miracle I was able to get 3,000 chapters, a chapter, that's still like, hold on, I hit divide instead of, have to do math with a calculator because I'm not good at math. That's still 36K of a fic, and y'all know it's not going to be 3,000 words, and it might even be 5,000 per chapter. And if that is the case, it's going to be 60K. Like, what? And I know none of you who like reading my stuff is complaining, but I'm just like, that's a lot, everybody.
No one's ever complained about that.
I know, except for me, because I'm the one that has to write it.
That's true.
But my hope is that I can get half of it written, because we're about to move, my wife and I, in like a month. So I want to get half of it written before we move, so that I can sort of celebrate us moving by posting the first chapter. And then I probably will run on like a week or a 2-week schedule of posting. So it's still going to take about a few months for me to post the whole thing. Wow, because even if I posted a chapter a week, that's 12 weeks. Wow. Well, hopefully I get the end done pretty quickly, and then I could post all of that. Maybe it'll be like Let Loose Your Longing. I'll get like the whole thing done before any of you see it, and then I could just post it all at once. Not all at once, but like only have a few days before posting. That's not going to happen. Don't get excited about that. That's not at all what it's going to be.
I panicked for a minute. I was just like, that much in one day? It's like, don't know if I'll survive that.
No, oh man, no. I won't post it all at once. Like, I understand people who like finish things and post them all at once. Like, that's wonderful and beautiful. And sometimes when those things pop up, I'm like, yes, let's do it. But what I know from writing fic for so many years and from the feedback I've gotten from people, it's so much easier when you post chapters one at a time. And I know some people wait till the end to read it, which is completely legit too. But for the most part, that helps break it up for people so that A, they have something to look forward to. B, it's the ease of reading so that you're not reading it all at once. And a lot of people like that, you know, after you're done, they can go back and read it all at once. But initially when you're introducing it, people don't tend to like a full, huge thing all at once.
I also like it because if you post it in little portions, you get more comments.
Well, not only do you get more comments, but sometimes for me it alters what I put in a fic. Or the cool thing, because I don't post anything until it's at least 50 to 60% done. But sometimes what happens is when I'm posting earlier, people will point things out that either A, I've forgotten about, or B, I'm stuck on later to like make a resolution for. And when people point that out, sometimes that's the spark I need to figure it out or to like put something extra in. And so for me, it influences the writing and is actually like a very major, great part of figuring out how to tell the story.
That's very nice.
It never changes anything major, mind you. Like things always tend to end the way I want them to end and everything else. But currently what I'm writing is in such an early stage that I have no concept of the way it's going to end, actually. Other than them being together. I mean, it's
going to end in heartbreak.
It's never going to end in
Listen,
here's the thing. If anything I ever write ends in heartbreak for these two, you know, either someone else stole my story from me or it's a fake out. I'm faking you out. Like, and I'm going to come back and everyone's going to be alive and happy. And you're going to be like, why did you do this and hurt me this way? And I'll be like, I tried to pull a 1-2 punch. But I warned you in this video. And if you didn't listen to that video I did with Toad, then you wouldn't have ever known. And that's not my fault, obviously.
But it's going to be long.
It's funny.
I can break it up.
Hopefully this happens, y'all. But like the big things that I'm planning for this year in terms of fic, there's this big AU that I'm currently working on, and I have a Christmas story that I really want to tell, and will also be an AU. And so yeah, Toad, I've probably told you about it before.
I'm so happy.
but I'm hoping to write like a small, it'll be longer, but I'm hoping that it won't be gigantic. Because here's the other thing that I feel like some people don't understand. If I did, because my wife begs me all the time, she's like, just write your longer fics because those are my favorites. I'm like, but if I did that, okay, first of all, last year I would have written no fic. There would have been like nothing that I put out. And other than finishing Let Me Hand You My Love, which apparently I finished last year, and I don't even, my concept of time is so off that I'm like, really, that happened? But if I did that, if I only worked on long fic, y'all would get maybe 2 fics a year. You know, like I just wouldn't, although I do work on one shots during the same time, but if I just committed to I'm only going to release my long fic, then there would be so much less fic for me. In fact, there would probably only be 3 fics because I only have 3 long fics. Can you believe that? I only have 3 long fics. I have longer fic, like I have like 7K one shots occasionally, but anyway, my point in telling you that was
the amount you write is just mind-boggling sometimes.
Say what?
The amount that you write is mind-boggling.
It boggles my mind too. Are you kidding me?
I've never. Wow, they're really putting out so much for this fandom. I can't.
I write a lot of things. I do. It's funny to me sometimes when people are like, how did you write so much? And I feel like some people get overwhelmed too because they're like, you know, I don't know where to start. And I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, okay? I didn't know it was going to go this way. Like 3 years ago when I sat down to watch season 1, I didn't know that this would be my life 3 years later.
No one plans for this sort of thing to happen.
I could not have predicted. This will be my life 3 years from now. I can tell you that much. I would be shocked, y'all, if in 3 years I'm not still writing Haggle. I would be floored. Because it's where I like to live. It's what I like to talk about. So. What is that? What is that?
Who knows?
I love you.
I especially don't know.
I like it. It's like a little rose and a little. You should keep it there.
I'm thinking of doing a rose background, but then I'm just like, that's a lot of roses.
Why don't you just copy that one rose that you made, which was really cute, and just duplicate it?
I could, but I'm dramatic.
It just reminds me of that one time, Toad. The first one of these videos that we did. See? Except that's beautiful. Keep that.
Are you
that
sure?
First video that we did where you were... Yeah, I'm sure. I really do like that. I really think that that's gorgeous. That first video we did where you were like, I don't know what's behind them. And I'm like, books. And you're like, nah. And then you just like did one row of books. And then you just duplicate. No, this looks good. I really like this.
Oh, that's cute.
It also looks like wallpaper Ada would have.
Oh, I love it. I love her. I love this. It's so cute.
This looks like the best. You know what? Oh my gosh, Toad, do you know? This looks like the kind of picture that Hecate would like keep in a locket. Or like in a little, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh
my
so
God. I'm emotional about it. I think it's like really, truly a thing.
I know it's a thing. I know in my heart.
It's because here's what I can picture. I can picture that Ada was supposed to do her official like headmistress photo. And in her official one, she's smiling and her eyes are just looking at the, whoever's doing the portrait or the picture, sorry. But then in one she winked and the photographer told her they really liked it, gave it to her, and she gives it to Hecate. And she's like, I thought you'd like this one. And then Hecate's in a puddle on the floor. because she can't handle when her wife winks at her.
I mean, who can? I can't.
None of us are.
I have a weakness for winks.
Immune to the weak. This is so cute. I want to put this in a locket for myself. This is so adorable.
Oh, should be. Yeah. Oh, then I'm done. Woot woot.
So proud of you.
Oh, so cute. Wait, there's a layer missing. I know this.
No, what?
Where did it go?
Oh yeah, because your signature is gone.
Oh no, it's there. It's just hiding. I like to hide my signature.
Oh, yeah, I see.
That way when people steal it, I can be like, aha, magnifying glass.
Mm-hmm.
You stole it from me.
It looks fine to me. Do you need the palette?
No, I have like a bottom lip color and it just disappeared.
Oh, that's weird.
That was like my first one. Let me tell you, these palettes I kind of went a little extra with. I've redrawn several of them.
Listen, Toad, I'm shocked. This is my shocked voice. I'm so shocked. Shocking. I'm that emoji with my hands on my face. I'm shocked. I'm not shocked at all. Not at all. In case anyone can read my sarcasm. I struggle with sarcasm sometimes, so I always like to even if I'm trying to be sarcastic, that I'm being sarcastic because it's hard for me to know sometimes. I like it when people are literal with me.
Oh man. I liked your sarcasm.
Anyone else find me? Why are you still listening then?
If you don't like sarcasm, you've come to the wrong place.
You truly have. You have. Anyway, Toad, you know what we could talk about though?
What?
Even though we didn't prepare it, I think that we should pick. You're gonna be so mad at me though.
Oh no.
I think we should pick. Okay, I'm not even gonna call it a favorite, just so that everyone doesn't think that we that we left anyone out. But I think we should pick 10 must-read hackle fics.
Oh my god.
For maximum cuteness. Yeah, let's do that. Maximum cuteness. Should pick 10.
Heck. I don't even know.
I do. And you're gonna agree with me on every one of them. Hold on, let me pull up my my AO3 and I will tell all of you and I will send actually, you know what? No, this is better. Wait, back up. Although, yes, eventually we will do a video that highlights some faves, some good reads, as I like to call them. And we're going to compliment a lot of you, and you're all going to blush, and it's going to be great. But I think that we should talk about some underutilized cuteness, right? In the same vein that we talk about fics we want people to write.
Yes.
Let's talk about some cuteness that could occur that does not occur enough in fic. Or occurs a lot, and we just want more of it.
That's usually the case for me.
So there we go. So that is topic of conversation. Cuteness we want to see in the world. I'll tell you what, because now you're working on Dimity. I need some Hubble Star in my life, friends.
Please.
I do.
Please.
I need it. Because that finale gave me so many Hubble Star feels, and I was not prepared. I was not at all prepared for how wonderful it was. It's not over, Julie's. Don't you miss Hubble me?
Oh, I'm never gonna be over that.
And Dimity just you're cute. I was happy to see you. I don't know what else to say.
Here, read my book.
Because you're in my dreams all the time, and I love you so much. This is some of your. I'm looking at some of Toad's other palette things, friends, and there's some good stuff in here.
There's so many.
So many.
There's too many. I'm ashamed to say how many there are.
Here's the thing. Okay, here is how I approach my whips because there's too many of them. Let's be real. But I like to think of it as these are all potentials, and one day I will make it through a lot of them. I won't say all of them because I'm not delusional, but one day I'll make it through a lot of them. And I have prompts. I always have a backlog of prompts, which is sometimes helpful when I don't know what to do because I'm just like, oh, you know what I could do? I could refill these prompts that have been sitting in my drafts for forever. Except sometimes that gets me in trouble. And I have like one thing left to do for Call the Midwives. Like when I did festive prompts and I finished like all of them except for them. There's one left over for Call the Midwife. I love her hair in this, by the way.
Thank you.
It's cute. Are you going to put that blue in her hair?
Probably.
I'm just saying because that's what it is in canon. She's got those blue braids, you know?
Yeah.
I made myself so emotional, y'all, the other day when I was thinking about Hubble Star because this is really sad, and Toad's gonna get really mad at me because it's gonna make her sad and she might cry in the middle of this video, and I apologize in advance. But I was thinking about which is live longer. And I was thinking like Julie, when she gets older, Dimity has like a spell to make herself look older when they're in public together. But really Dimity doesn't age as fast. And so I like to think that the Hubbles live a little bit longer than your average person. Just because like that the leftover magic in their family that like doesn't show up at least gives them that. But I was just thinking about Dimity still being with Julie when Julie is like aging and getting older and taking care of her and them being cute old biddies together, but knowing that Julie has a lot less time than Dimity. And just Julie telling Dimity that like, you know, it's fine if she wants to leave because she knows that like she's a human and there's only so much she can do for so long, but Dimity being like, no, you're the love of my life. And then they're just together and it's really cute, but also really sad.
I don't like it. It's very sad.
I'm so sorry, but it's also sweet though.
It's sweet, but like at what cost?
The cost of your feelings is what the cost is. And I
feelings are cheap. Oh, that makes me so sad.
I'm sorry.
Oh, sadness. That's cute, but like, I don't like anything about it.
It made me really upset. And it reminded me of my time in the X-Men fandom, which was brief, y'all. It was brief, but I used to ship Storm and Wolverine. And there was this really beautiful fic written once about the two of them getting together, but it ended with him like, this was so sad. It ended with him in like a graveyard, like talking to her and talking about the children that they've had, and like he's walking through the graveyard and there's like some of their children are there and some of their like dead and some of their grandchildren because he's gonna live for freaking ever or whatever. And it used to make me so sad because there was the other thing. This was before my friends pre-AO3 days, okay? When you loved a pairing, you usually had an archive just full of that pairings, like, fic, and you used to love it. But the only problem was, and you'd have your favorites, and sometimes you'd remember the name, and sometimes you wouldn't. But all you had to go on, my friends, was a rating and a summary. And so I would unfortunately reread this fic all the time and forget that this was the fic that ended like that. And I used to get so upset. I remember telling my best friend Crystal, I'd be like, I found it again. And she's like, you really need to stop going in unsupervised. And I'm like, but what am I supposed to do? I have to read all the fic again and again. So anyway, I would just like all of you young folks who don't know the struggle to know that you're lucky. Because now you can tag, now you can bookmark shit, now you can know if it's the one that ends in tragedy and will freaking wreck you. That wasn't even tragedy because they did have a very like long life together, but it was still just sad at the end.
It's still sad.
It's very sad.
Still sad.
But can I tell you what's happy? Because sometimes this is how I make myself happy in my life. Sometimes I like to think about Hackle AUs where they meet in like when Hecate's in her 50s and Ada's in her 60s. And my favorite one is where, as a joke, Dimity signs Hecate up because there's a lesbian group, and I think it's in the UK and the US, or maybe it's just the UK. And it's got a really cute name, and it's for lesbians like over 50, like 50 and over. And I just really like the idea. I love the idea of in an AU, a Hecate who comes out later in her life. So like maybe in her 40s. Like I did with Let Loose. She was that way in Let Loose Your Lung. But I love the idea of Dimity signing her up for this group for women who are 50 and older, like as a joke, like for Hecate's 50th birthday. And it turns out Ada is the one that like runs their like social events and always has like the best biscuits and like runs the refreshment table basically, and they get to like chatting up, and Ada because she's adorable, it completely misreads the fact that Hecate likes her, and Hecate is flailing because she's only just come out a few years ago, so she doesn't know how to like act around the woman she likes and ask her out. But she's trying, and Ada is completely misreading it, and Ada starts to try to hook her up with like other people in this group, thinking that like, you know, Hecate must find love or whatever, but not considering herself in that. And then Hecate just keeps being like, I don't know why she keeps sending me out on all these dates. And then eventually it comes out that Ada just did not know. I came up with this idea that, Dimity eventually just tells Ada, like, you know that she's got the hots for you, right? And Ada's like, what are you talking about? And Dimity goes, she has a date on Friday, and I guarantee you, if you go tell her that you have, like, tickets to something or you want to go to dinner with her, she will cancel that date for you. So it's like a dare, right? So Ada goes and does it, and then Hecate does cancel her plans, and then they end up dating. And it would just be really cute. Just one of my favorite ideas.
That's what the people need.
It is what the people need. If anyone else wants to write it too, I'm totally down. Because y'all know I have a list of like way too many ideas.
If I've learned anything from the Summer Trope Challenge, it's that you can never have enough of
that is true.
A trope.
That is very, very true. Well, and the thing is like, especially in FemSlash, which is why, you know, Lynn did the trope challenge. We just don't, I think, and honestly, I think sometimes it's because so many of us are, as opposed to when you have like dude ships, when you just have slash ships, where there are a lot of like straight women writing those. When you have FemSlash, there are a lot more queer people, and I think we just tend to be much more careful about like stepping on each other's toes, and we don't want to like steal ideas. And there's always a difference, and I feel like some people think the line is harder to tread than others, but there's a difference between just completely stealing someone's idea and the fact that like fandom exists in a land where we're sharing the same headcanons, we're watching the same characters. And so, you know, if I want a coffee shop AU and Mary writes a coffee shop AU, like we're both allowed to write them. because we both have different strengths. They're both going to look differently. But also it's got that same tropey goodness. And we all know that post that's like finishing a fic and wanting one just like it. So then why shouldn't we have one exploring the same trope over and over and over again? Because we're all sitting around having read one we just love and either wishing that the same author wrote one just like it, or that another author that we really like and respect does it too. And, the cherry on top is that an artist has done art for it too, and you can just cry over it all the time.
It's the perfect storm.
It truly is. Speaking of artists, Ravager of Worlds has done some great art, y'all, and I need to write the fic for it. And they've been very forgiving for me taking forever. But I'm working on it. I am. And it's a sweet idea, and I'm very excited about it, but it is taking me some time. She's so pretty. Look at her. So pretty.
I miss her.
What?
I miss her.
I miss her too. I miss all of them. Let's be real. I do. Although I have been rewatching season 1, which has been a gift. It's always a gift to rewatch season 1. I always find it interesting to rewatch seasons after you've gone through so many other seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And beyond the nostalgia of being like, we lost so much when we lost Emma Reeves, which was the showrunner of season 1, and who wrote the Worst Witch Live, the play. There's just like all of these other cool connections you can make after you've had some time with them and you see where the show kind of goes. And there's the other thing I really like about going back is you can really think about, what if I took the story in a completely different direction starting from this episode? And what would that look like? I suppose I'm always looking at things thinking like a writer. But I find it cute. Ada's really cute in season 1. They're all really cute in season 1. But I find her especially adorable. But that is always true. Let's be real.
True. It's always true.
It's always true. It's always funny to me because Ada is very, we have this lovely introduction to a woman who is firm but kind and like in the beginning and everything. And then season 2, she's going through so much. Season 3, Hecate's going through a lot. And she's worried about Hecate. And then season 4, she's just allowed to be really fucking cute again. And I feel like this is like an interesting arc, right? Whereas you have Hecate, who we see is really hard and then softens up a bit, and they carry on that theme in the other seasons. But I feel like even Hecate was a bit softer this past season, and I just really appreciate that.
Everything was so soft.
And then Dimity, Dimity doesn't have as much time in the first season. She really comes into her own later, but some of Dimity's things in season 1 are just adorable. Like when they're doing the broomsticks, the broom flying lesson, and Dimity's late. And I've always really loved her retractable broom because the handle like comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have always really adored her sweet face and how she just sort of comes clumbering in. I just love them all. I miss them all. Also, I just watched the episode recently where Mr. Rowan Webb comes back. And I'm like, I miss Miss Bat and Mr. Rowan Webb a lot. Gwen and Algie. What a bromance for the ages.
Oh, so true.
Can you imagine though? There's like all that pining because he's gone for 30 years. And then how do they relearn each other when he comes back? There's a lot in there. I don't tend to explore it because I'm too distracted by Hackle and Hubblestar. But I mean, what a wealth of ships in this show. Let's be honest. They don't spend enough time on the adults, but the time they do spend has given us a lot.
That's my life. Let me obsess over the adult characters of kid show.
I mean, listen, and now that I have a kid, it's like, you know, I don't have a kid who's old enough to watch like some real TV. Although my kid, I just have to talk about how cute my kid is, real quick. I promise, the only time. But I've been watching Great British Bake Off, and sometimes my kiddo will get picked up from daycare and come back, and I'm watching it, and they've watched enough of it and they'll be entertained for about 10 or 15 minutes until they're ready to move on to something else. But I've watched enough of it where they understand how the technical challenge works. So they're sitting on my lap on the couch. And for anybody who hasn't watched Great British Bake Off, first of all, what are you doing with your life? And secondly, they have 3 challenges, and the first challenge is the signature challenge. So they have to give like a family recipe or a recipe they've practiced, and the judges tell them what they want. And so anyways, they do the signature bake, and then there's the technical challenge, of which you're all given the same ingredients. There's a like a sheet over it so you don't see what they are while they tell you what the challenge is. But they can't remove the sheet, and they can't read the recipe, which has also been pared down, and a few details have been left out until after they're told they can, like, you know, ready, set, bake or whatever. So, but my kid has seen it enough that we were watching it the other day, and the technical challenge came on, and my kiddo goes, "Don't touch!" Like, to all the people, because they can't touch the ingredients yet.
It's so
cute. And then when they started, the kiddo goes, "Check the recipe, read the recipe. And I'm just like, I love you so much, and this is how much I've watched this show.
That's so cute. That's adorable.
It's really adorable. It's really cute. And so, yeah. My kiddo is only in daycare until the end of July, and then they'll be at home all the time again. But my home will be bigger then, and I have plans, and I'm looking up curriculums and activities and stuff, and so I'm about to full-time mom it again. But this time prepared, as opposed to
not prepared.
Yeah, as opposed to be in this where I was just 100% not prepared. So yeah. Anyways, yeah, my kiddo. Don't touch! Check the recipe!
That's so
yeah,
cute.
I really love, there's a stool in our kitchen because my wife and I are short. But my kiddo likes to they like to help me cook all the time. And so they'll be like, "Mama, stool!" Go get the stool. And they have an apron that has turtles on it.
Aw, cute.
Yeah, they have their own apron. It's really cute. So yeah, but that's the end of me being a mom for a few minutes there. I just had to tell you because my kid's really freaking cute. So. Speaking of cute kids, y'all, I have put Azura Moon in my AU, and my current favorite scenes are with her because she is adorable.
I love it.
She is adorable. And you know what's really funny is I've found that, like, what I want to write in stories now, especially in AUs, but maybe in some magical AUs too, I want Hecate and Indigo to have lived a life where they got to be friends for the whole of their lives. And Hecate got to meet Azura, like, as a baby and stuff.
It's what we deserve.
So she could be Auntie Hecate. I mean, can't you just see it, right? Like, she's so stiff. And so, like, closed off from other people, but she melts around her little niece. I mean, come on.
It's the cutest thing.
It's cute. Y'all need to get prepped because there's a lot of cuteness I've written. A lot of cuteness. It's going to be sugary sweet, this lovely AU. Toad's going to cry. It's going to be great, y'all.
Anatomy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
Oh wait, we're supposed to be talking about cute things we need more of in fic. So I have to check something out real quick. So Toad, it's on you. You need to come up with 3 cute things you really want in some fic.
I need more Zura because that's one of my favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
I need that relationship with Hecate to just be funny, and like her to just call Hecate out all the time. It needs to be in more Hackle fanfiction, I feel. What else? Let me think. I want more Sleepy Ada because I think it's cute and adorable, and I need more of it always and forever. What else? Let's see. I want everything. I only have one more. I don't know.
Okay, so I'll add, because you're talking about Sleepy Ada, because the two Adas that I find really adorable are Sleepy Ada and Drunk Ada.
Please, I need that in my life.
I've written Drunk Ada a couple of times, and I love her because y'all know Drunk Ada is like, she's sweet, she's funny, she's probably clumsy as hell, and
also, I need more Saucy Ada.
Hey,
it needs to happen. I just need it. It's so cute. She's adorable.
Way.
Also, it just makes me happy, especially after we talked about how people don't perceive Ada as a saucy dream of deliciousness. That was a weird sentence. I stand by it.
A saucy dream of deliciousness. I love you. I love you.
I stand by what I said. It needs to be more.
You should. It is a beautiful.
I got saucy pics coming up. I know I keep saying that, but they're coming up.
Girl, I love the saucy pics. Saucy pics and saucy pics. I knew that. My head, y'all. The world's on fire, okay? Just blame it on that. Don't pretend like I was like this the whole time.
Oh, arms are hard. I put this in a really weird place. I don't want to go with the same pose over and over again. Oh, the was being an artist. Also, I want more Dimity. I need it in my life. So bad.
It's on my list. Everything's on my list. I apologize. My list is long. But the rest of you, get in it. Love Dimity. Okay? In this time of ridiculous pandemics and racism, fall in love with Dimity Drill. Okay?
Please.
Because that's how you fight the racists, y'all.
Yes. Exactly.
And when I say fall in love with her, okay, let's not exoticize her. All right? Just fall in love with her because she deserves to be fallen in love with.
Oh, man. I love her so much. I remember I was going to rant about her one day. And then I fizzled out. Okay, but like I go on a rant and it's just like anytime I get like too angry, I end up crying. And that's what happened. I went like on a rant for Dimity and then I just was like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm done.
I just think there's so much, especially when we're talking about like I just was very, the thing I loved about Dimity the most, in terms of like, if we look across 4 seasons of the show that we've now had, like in the beginning, Dimity was there, but she was kind of like, you know, she didn't have her own episode, you know?
Yeah.
Um, but but let us not forget, even though she didn't have her own episode, Dimity held the whole academy up until she couldn't anymore, and that was a good 15 minutes where that whole academy was not crumbling by the strength of Hecate's magic alone. And people don't give her enough credit for what a powerful witch she is. And she is one. But yeah, so there's that. But when I think about Dimity, I think about season 2 and the fact that you have Maud who's freaking out about field day, and Dimity then makes that whole speech about how she's good because she's tried. And it reminds me of back when Grey's Anatomy was good and wasn't a million seasons long. And there's this whole arc with Burke, who I liked before I found out Isaiah Washington was a bit too homophobic. But there's this part where he has to do surgery on the hand of a violinist. I think it's a violinist that he likes a lot. And he has this talk with Christina about how Christina's talent comes from the fact that she is just talented. Yes, she goes through medical school like everyone else. But he was like, but I had to try. I had to try so hard to be good at things. And that's why I'm good at things. And I just feel like Dimity is the same way. It's not that she's not naturally talented in certain things, but I think where Dimity's natural talent lies is in sports. But that she had to try to be good at broomstick flying. I think that what we learned from season 4 is that she's good at running. And maybe that was just a natural thing, but broomstick flying she had to try at, and probably a few other sports. And she's good at potions, which she probably learned from her mom, but just wasn't, interested in going that route. And I just really love teacher Dimity. It's one of my favorites. Now, I don't love that she lets the littles get away with way too much, but I do love when she's teaching. I think she's one of the most talented teachers at Cackles. And I think, that is the thing that's what's sad to me about Julie leaving, because I feel like Julie and Dimity taught in a very similar manner. In that they were trying to bring out in the kids, not only the fact that you have to try, but that you don't have to immediately be good at something. Because that's what magic does, right? Mm-hmm. At the way we've seen it in the show. Ethel is why would you do that when you have magic? And it's because the point is not that you just can get something done. A lot of times the point is the process. And I feel and there's that whole scene where Julie is yeah, this is nice, and it was nice when Van Gogh did it, but you have to do your own thing. And I feel Dimity is very similar in that fact. That they're both you have to build your own world and your own interests, and and she can be somebody to support you in that. It always actually makes me really sad about Arabella and Enid, because Dimity has this look on her face when Arabella is teaching Enid, and Enid is I have a teacher that I think Enid says it to Dimity, that it's nice to have a teacher who believes in her or something. And Dimity has this sort of devastated look on her face. And I'm just if she had known, though, if Dimity had known, she would have helped you. As is evident later when Arabella is no longer there and Dimity is helping her. And it just, I don't know, I'm very emotional about Dimity, the teacher.
As should everyone be. We need a Dimity week.
Right. We do need a Dimity week. Oh my gosh, let me make a note. I'm gonna make a note. It's gonna happen. You know, you can't just say things like that to me and not expect things to happen.
That's why I said it.
Oh,
Because I meant it.
you are a smart lady. I don't give you enough credit.
I think listen, I love Dimity, and we need more content of her because we don't have enough, and it drives me bananas.
I think that we should. We're gonna have a Dimity week. It's gonna happen.
Heck yeah, Dimity week.
If it doesn't happen this year, it'll happen next year.
Heck yeah.
Probably sometime in February. It's Black History Month.
Heck yeah.
I'm thinking of doing another. Let me put out this question to the masses. Oh man, this cobbler is really good. You know what I want?
What?
In terms of cute things, I want, and I know I've written it sometimes, I want Ada sitting on the counter while Hecate cooks. I just want a whole thing that's just that. Hecate's cooking, Ada's being cute, sneaking like bites of stuff and leaning forward to kiss Hecate, and Hecate is like, you are distracting me, and Ada's like, you are not complaining.
I need that in my life.
Right?
I love it. It's so cute.
I want them just being domestic cuties.
Give us the domestic cuteness.
They deserve it. We deserve it. It's what the people need right now.
It's what everyone deserves.
I'm trying to think, what other cuteness do I need? Because you listed some good ones. What else do I need?
I can keep going.
You should keep going.
Ada singing. Need that. Need more of that in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's super cute. What else? I need hand holding. Nothing happens, just hand holding.
Just holding hands. I need like really significant hand holding, you know?
It's like it's an intense moment. There's silence and hand holding.
And that's just it. They just in each other's presence, holding hands. Holding hands is so intimate.
It really is. You need to hold hands more often.
They should hold hands. There should be forehead kisses. There should be eyelid kisses.
Neck kisses.
Neck kisses, girl, yes.
Always and forever, don't forget them. They're important.
I do like the neck kisses. Speaking of hand holding, knuckle kisses. You know, the tender kiss to the knuckles?
Yes. That needs to happen. Everybody write this down.
Take notes, people. I would also be game for any of these things in Hubble Star fic too.
Yes.
I need Dimity showing off her like broomstick flying skills for trying to impress Julie.
That'd be really cute.
Mm-hmm. I want her to draw things in the sky for Julie.
Yes. Yes. That'd be so cute. Oh my gosh. I love that idea.
Be adorable.
Need to finish my saucy do of them. Needs to happen. I need to finish my saucy do of them.
Oh yes.
It needs to happen. Like yesterday. All my wits should be finished yesterday.
I mean, you and me both, kid. Although, to be fair, there is a lot going on in the world.
That is true. I keep forgetting about that. Like, not forgetting about it, but
It's like always in the back of your brain, but it's never.
but
It's
not
funny.
everybody can be super creative during this time.
Well, and the funny thing is, you're like when you realize it, you're like, oh, that is valid. Like that would kill your creativity a lot and put you in a place where you just can't be, especially if it's your happy place, if it's a place that you escape to.
Mm-hmm.
It can really affect your ability to engage in it. And you're like, once you hear it, you're like, yeah, that's a valid thing. But when you're thinking about it, you're like, it like doesn't show up in your brain as a valid reason for what's going on. Which is also to say to all our lovely fellow creative folks, if you are not able to create in this time, please don't judge yourself too harshly. Don't judge yourself at all, really, because it's hard. It's really hard. I always liken it to the fact that like I'm currently in therapy. I've been in therapy in a lot of different times in my life. Really struggle with anxiety and occasionally depression. And I just think it's funny because it's like, this is basically the Olympics of having to use your coping skills. You know, it's like you got to pull out every tool in your toolbox just to get through this time. Because the level of trauma, collective trauma, what's happening in the world, and believe me, we are all going through a traumatic event. This is traumatic for all of us. Some of us in different ways than others. Some of us will be hit differently, but it's traumatic for all of us. We're going through a time of collective trauma. And what does your body do when you're in the midst of trying to survive? And so you're trying to, those of us who have learned some coping skills, we're trying to pull them all out. And it's like, and still at the end of the day, you're exhausted because you've done the work of having to survive. But also you miss that time of like, I wish I could be creative. I wish I could step into that space, because it's like, that is my happy space. That's the space where I can deal with stuff. And it's frustrating not to be able to have a space that you normally have. And what Toad and I are doing is just making a video just to chat so that you feel like you're engaging a little bit in something, right? Toad over here is actually doing some art, of course, but I'm just talking.
Well,
I'm working on it.
I haven't been doing that much art lately. I've been too anxious.
Well, and that's the thing, right? It's like, how are you supposed to function when your anxiety is at a 10 all the time,
Yeah.
It's hard.
So, like, right now I'm more calm.
Yeah, there you go.
Things have been a little bit more pleasant.
Well, that's good.
Also, I haven't looked at news or Facebook today, so that could also be that. Someone's getting a lot of notifications.
Yeah, I am.
How?
They're from Mary. We were talking about my fic.
Ooh la la.
Because Mary is lovely and is beta-ing my week 2 fic.
Oh.
Yeah. So yeah, I already have a fic for week 2, y'all. 1, because I'm the one that knows all the tropes because I picked them. And 2, because I wrote a thing that fits. And I didn't pick the trope because I did have a completed fic. I just, it happens.
That happens sometimes.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So if y'all aren't being creative in this time, that's not. Also, let's expand the idea of what creativity means, right? Because I was like, I've been writing a little bit more because my kid is back in daycare, and I promised y'all the daycare is small. There are precautions happening. Like, I didn't just put my kid in daycare because I think that everything's safe now and we're fine to go and do everything. Don't y'all worry. That's not how I'm operating. But but we had to put our kid back in daycare when it opened back up because my wife and I were being driven up the wall. And we, and they do better, you know, they're really happy to go play with their friends because you ask them every day what they did today and they go, oh, I played with friends, and it's so sweet. But anyway,
nice.
but we had to put them back in daycare, and this is one of the days my wife, I think I've said this before for most people who know, but my wife is a chaplain, a woman of God, if you will. She works at a hospital, and right now she only has to physically be in the hospital a couple days a week. This is one of the days where she's in, and she works from home the rest of the days. But it's so different for her to be working at home and me to be at home because I'm usually at home together without our kid. It's a lot quieter. And they come home, my kid comes home so tired from daycare because they've actually been stimulated all day long, as opposed to when we were scraping for things to do. But anyways, back to creativity. Because I was thinking, you know, in the last week, I've been able to write a little bit more, but before that, other than writing random one-shots in the middle of the night, I wasn't able to write a lot. Knitting has been really hard for me. In fact, the only creative endeavor that I do have that has been constant that I've actually been able to do is to bake, which, while great, is not, you know, I want to finish. I have a scarf that I was making for a friend starting in October of last year. Now, it's June and I'm not done. Which it does not normally take me that long to make a scarf. I have a freaking hat to make Toad that I haven't made yet, but I have the yarn for. But now I'm just like, Toad might just get it for the next winter. It's fine. But I was trying to think. I was like, I want to do something.
What the heck?
I want to do something creative, but I can't do these things that I want to do. And so that's why I asked Toad if she wants to do a video because, you know, engaging in fandom conversation is creative. It's a creative endeavor. And, you know, I'm not writing any fic. She's drawing currently, but, I'm not writing any fic while we do it. But we are talking about it. And afterwards, I normally have ideas or have, some sort of energy to do things. So, you know, your conversations are as important as actual writing and art and stuff. So, yeah. Or any other kind of fandom thing that you engage in. Vids. Oh, speaking of vids, all of our delightful people who vid. I haven't seen this in a couple of my last fandoms, but in some of my bigger fandoms, it was a really popular thing to make fake movie trailers. Do you know what I'm talking about, Toad?
I've never seen those, but it sounds
Oh
amazing.
my gosh, hold on, pause, because I have to show Toad what I'm talking about, and then she can put it in the things. Because let me find my favorite one. And while I'm doing that, so let me explain the premise. So basically, what people do is they take your usual format of what a movie would be,
mm-hmm.
and they take scenes from a show as if it's a movie trailer.
I dig it.
Okay, hold on. I think I found my favorite one. Let me watch it really quickly. And sorry if the other cool thing about them though is you can use different. You could use things clips of them from other shows too if you wanted.
Oh yes, if you like gift sets for trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, that would be too much. Oh man, especially if they put spunky music in it. I feel like this is the best time of my life. I will link that video, by the way.
You what?
I will link the video in the description
Good.
I'm putting that there so I remember to stop the video. Oh, that'd be really cute.
Yeah. I got some.
I want like a cheesy voiceover.
Me too. Something really trophy too would be great.
Someone should do. This isn't Hackle, but someone should do a horror movie trailer with Agatha.
Oh God.
Oh my God. Oh man. Will you stop?
What? Oh, you're talking to your dog.
Yeah.
I was like, what are you doing?
My dog Quinn is just like chewing on her paw, and it's just like I can hear it, and I'm like, please stop. She's so
Toad,
loud.
who is, you've been reblogging this artist that I have never seen before, and I'm really excited about it.
Which one?
What is this? Rocheru? They're black. They have
Okay. Yeah, I just followed them last night.
Yeah. You started reblogging the shit out of their stuff.
It was
But
really
I love
pretty.
it though. I love it because I was like, what is this?
Oh, their style's so pretty. It's so unique.
So,
I love it.
it's so nice. It reminds me there's this one where all of these girls are looking in a mirror, and the girl with white hair reminds me, there used to be this thing in the early 2000s on the internet where you could sort of like build your own cute little girl. It was kind of like, so she had like they always had like the same curvy body, so like there wasn't a lot of diversity in body type, but it used to be this little thing where you would like build your own person. I used to spend hours, and I had like 4 or 5 different little characters, and they all had different color hair, and I used to use them for like little icons and like little stuff. And anyway, this girl with this gray hair reminds me of those.
Great. I love that.
Delightful. Listen, y'all, the internets in the early 2000s was a trip. Trip and a half.
I feel like everything back then was a trip and a half.
It was though. It was.
It's like all of that stuff happened so fast, and now it's just gone. It's like, hello.
It is. That is nuts to me. It's just like, it's the time that things exist online is just so small.
Sometimes they last forever. Sometimes they last for like a year, and then you never hear about them again.
Exactly. Oh my gosh. Speaking of blasts from the past, y'all. So yesterday I got 2 emails about reviews on 2 fics I had on fanfiction.net, y'all. Because I was there back in the day. And it took me a minute to figure out where these fics had come from. Because the titles were not like, my signature titles of today, where it's either a poem or a song lyric. They were shorter. And I'm getting comments for fic I wrote when I was 17 years old. No, not even. I was 16. And I'm just like, whoa. My wife was like, that was like 20 years ago. And I was like, no, that's too far. It's like 17 years ago. But yeah, which is like, I know people talk about getting comments on things from forever ago all the time, but I feel like especially currently, like in these pandemic times, it's just especially like heartwarming, but also kind of wow to get comments on things that I have not even like looked at in years. Although I did so I used to write fan fiction for Who's the Boss, which was a great show from the 80s, everyone. But I remember rereading it a couple years ago, and I wrote There was something about I'd written a kiss. Teen Angela and Tony, that was my OTP from that show. They were canon eventually. But I wrote them kissing, and you can totally tell that I'm such a lesbian who doesn't understand why you would ever want to kiss a man. Like, the way it's written is so, to me, like, to 33-year-old me, is hilarious. Because I'm like, oh, you sweet baby dyke. What is this? But, you know, like, people liked it. That's my other thing, too. Like, someone's going to like your fic. You know, someone out there is going to like what you write. It might not be as many people as you want, but someone's going to like it, and someone's going to like what you draw, and somebody is going to like your opinion. I mean, it's just, statistically, it's going to happen. I might just be one person, but when you share your stuff, it's going to be at least one person.
At the very least.
At the very least. It's nice when it's more than one person. And it's nice when you get to talking with that person and they become a very dear friend of yours that you make silly videos with while they make delightful art of Dimity Drill.
Yeah, I'm looking for the thing right now.
Yeah, I'm like, what are you doing?
Dang it. I'm looking for the Cackles Academy, but I put Hackles Academy, and I'm like, where is it? Why isn't it showing up? Jeez.
I mean, it is Hackles Academy, let's be real.
That's where my mind is all the time. Always and forever.
I've been giving them the last name Hackle, like, all the time.
I can't believe it took me that long. I went through 3 pages, and then it's just like, oh, wait a minute. I feel so silly.
I think. Oh, look at that.
Oh, that's the best cat I've ever drawn.
That is such a good cat.
It only took me 1 try, too.
Girl, get it. Onward.
It took me 1,000.
She's so cute. I love her so much.
No, she really is. I'm so happy.
She's everything.
She is everything.
I like what you've done with her outfit.
Yeah.
Like, the zipper's down just a little bit. You can see the little t-shirt underneath. Slightly saucy. With all the little hearts around it, too.
That's
Julie,
everyone giving her love.
Listen, Julie keeps this picture. That's for sure.
I need more Hubble Star content.
I mean, we all do. We would all be blessed with it.
Yes, we all need it. We need it so bad.
We do. We do.
If people don't start making it, I'm gonna have to go back to writing. I don't want to go there. It's a dark place. I don't know many words, but I'll do it. This is a threat.
Toad thinks she's so bad at AO, but she really is.
Well, I mean, I think it's because most of the time I'm, like, reminded of all my fan fiction I've done when I was a teenager.
Mm.
And it's like going back and reading some of those, it's just like, I don't even remember this, and this is cringe.
Listen, I'll let you read some of the stuff I wrote as a teenager. I'm like, you feel real good about yourself.
I bet I have something that would just, you'd hate. I'm like, it's in my fanfiction.net days, so you know it's bad.
That's how you be knowing. Although I was cross-posting for a while when I got an AO3 account.
It took me forever to get an AO3 account.
By the way, shout out, y'all. I got invitations, so anybody who needs it, I got lots of invite codes. If you are not on AO3, you let me know. I'll hit you up. Give you one.
I'll give you one, maybe two. Definitely not three.
Yeah.
No one deserves three. Oh, man. Speaking of old stuff.
Yeah?
There's a lot of people that, recently, and I think it's because of the, I don't know, the quarantine, pandemic, all this stuff, but I've been getting reviews for old fan fiction, and there's a lot of people mad at me because I've deleted some old fan fiction.
Oh my gosh.
And
you can't never please the people.
You can't, but I want everybody to know, if you've written something or drawn something in the past or created something that you don't like or don't think is good anymore, you can delete that and don't feel bad for it.
Yes, please feel empowered if you no longer connect to something that you have gone and delete it. And everybody else, my friends, listen to me now. If you like a fic, so much so that you've read it hundreds and hundreds of times, do yourself a favor. If it is on AO3, download that shit. Download it so that you have a physical copy. Because I promise you, you will have a favorite fic that gets deleted. Because statistically, it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
And so you got to save that.
Save it and just
because I know
it and then find it like 10 years later.
I had a fic that I loved in this fandom that got deleted. I wasn't super upset because like I really loved it, but it wasn't like my all-time fave. But I know it was some other people's, and I just was like, listen, everybody, this is why we gotta save our stuff, because it can just go missing.
That's true.
Because people develop different relationships with the characters. Sometimes they no longer ship things. Sometimes canon throws in something so bad that they feel bad about what they've produced. And all of that is super valid. But it's like you got to anticipate that.
That's true.
And people are going to react like that because there's no guarantee that just because someone ships it right now, they will ship it later. Or that they'll keep producing content for you. Now, I will, because Haka will never leave me. And I don't want to be left. But, you know, other people, they might not.
That's true. Also, in my defense, a lot of the stuff I deleted was when I was like, that I made when I was a teenager. I was stupid.
Legit.
It's like, if you think I'm dumb now, you should have seen me back in the day. But yeah, that just reminded me of that. Don't feel bad if you don't like something and you don't want it to be like on your profile anymore.
Mm-hmm. Just let go. It's totally fine.
Sometimes that's just the way the moon takes you.
Oh shit, y'all. There's a gift set of hugs from Voyager that Mary done reblogged, and now I'm all in my Voyager feelings. No, get me out. Get me out. I ain't ready to be there right now.
Oh, back on the Star Trek.
Say what?
Back on the Star Trek. I might have maybe sketched a drawing of, you know, young Hackle, and I'm not saying that Hecate is a Vulcan or anything, but maybe that might have happened.
I can see Hecate as a Vulcan.
And Ada the captain, pew pew, with a little laser gun, pew pew. one of these days, I'm just going to draw Hackle in every AU that I want them to be in.
Do it.
And then I'll probably post them all at the same time and then disappear.
Disappear, and everyone's gonna be like, Toad, come back, I love it.
Oh,
Because that's what happens. You just leave. Everybody's like, ah!
I have to make a dramatic exit every time.
You do. You got that Hecate party you going on.
Oh, yay. Yay, yay, yay.
It's so pretty. Are you done?
No.
Okay. This looks really good.
The line art, though. It's awful. What are you talking about?
But stop talking about yourself like that.
I'm not talking about me. I'm just saying the line art.
You're the one that drew it. What do you mean you're not talking about you?
Line art is, like, the worst thing for me.
See, you always say that, but, like, to me, it always looks great. But I feel like your comeback would be like, but you see it after I've done it like a million times.
That is true.
I can understand, because I feel that way about my writing sometimes, because I always think I'm such shit at description. And I've had some people be like,
what the fuck are you talking about, Cass?
Yeah, some people be like, what are you talking about, Cass? And I'm like, y'all, I have to work at it so hard. So hard. Because I'm just not, I just don't think, I am a descriptive person. You know, I tend to be, but I think when it comes to writing it, I'm not good at, I remember I had a friend who gave me this feedback about fic, maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, where she was like, I love everything that's happening, but I feel like I'm floating. Where are they? You know? And like, because I'm a dialogue first writer. The dialogue tends to come to me first. So always what I write first. And sometimes I used to not write as much action going along with the dialogue so that you could like picture people and where they are. And so I think that's always why that's a struggle for me. Because it just doesn't come naturally. Because there's always that want, right? It's like, I just want to be able to just do the thing and then the thing exists. Well, really, I just want to be able to think the thing and then the thing exists.
Yes. All the time.
That would be like minimal effort on my part. But I don't know. This video is going to have some pauses.
I can always edit them out.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
no! What was that?
My glass just fell into my water.
Oh, no.
That's like not the worst thing to ever happen, but now I have to go get more water in a minute. It's okay. I wasn't about to drink or anything. I was. It's fine. It's fine. It's not the worst tragedy in the world. I'm trying to think of other cute things that I want. You know what I love?
What?
I want cute messages between Hackle during the day.
I need that. Always.
You know,
forever.
like they're just like leaving each other cute notes. Like maybe they know, for instance, like Hecate has a free period, but during her free period, Ada's like, you know, stepping in on another class or has a meeting or something, so they're not in Ada's office together. But when Ada comes back, there's a little note and a little rose from Hecate. And then maybe when Hecate goes back to her classroom, there's like a little like veiled note for her so that the kids can't see it's there.
I need this.
And maybe like some water or like a little treat because you know Hecate hasn't eaten.
Someone freaking please. There used to be like, I don't know, there was this fanfic that I used to really like, and it was basically just like a compilation of like all these like little notes sent to each other.
Oh my god.
With Hackle. It had so many chapters. It was like, they were like really little, but they were cute.
That sounds
kind of like the the Hackle RP blogs, the Hecate and the Ada ones.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it was like a fic, and it's just like every week there'd be like a cute new little message, and it's just like, oh, that's so cute, I love it so much.
Oh, cute. I had this thing Mary and I talked about once about Hackle literally taking 100 years to get together, and how it could be like a Drabble collection. But see, even if you do 100 word Drabbles, that's still like math is not my strong point. Hold on, y'all. I have to use a calculator, which is horrible because those are just tens. I should be able to do that. Um, that's still no, that's not right.
Math
You do
is the one that's horrible. Let's be honest here.
100 100 word travels. There we go. Oh gosh, I did that wrong. That's still 10,000 words. Anyways, we talked about that. Oh, that'd be cute. I love compilations. Like I love little moments. I love quiet moments between people. And maybe that's why I like Hackle so much. There's so much in that Tinder quiet space, you know.
And it's perfect.
They're lovely.
And they're in love. And everything's just dandy.
All right, I think I'm out of things to like talk about for an episode, friends. So I love you all. Stay safe.
Yes, please stay safe. Think
You know,
smart. Stay
and
informed.
we'll be coming at you with another episode, I'm sure.
Yes.
Time soon.
We'll be talking in depth about a million gazillion things. And
Like
nothing ever will make sense. And I will not explain anything that's happening.
I think it works with the tone of the times. It's
It really does.
Yeah.
Farewell.
But we love you all. Stay safe.
And goodbye.